First, though, it's the latest cosmetic surgery to hit the headlines as it's being reported that more and more people are spending money to give themselves an arm lift.
Well, Ellie Phillips says that she's tried everything to tone up her arms, but after years of exercise and dieting, she decided to pay over £7,000 for major surgery, and she joins us now alongside surgeon Paul Tully to explain more. Morning, both of you.
Hello.
So
Welcome.
let's start with the fact that you say you had an issue with your arms really since you were a teenager.
Yeah, I remember when I was about 15, 16, and it was speech night at school, and it was the first time we experimenting with fashion and trying things on and being like, oh, everything's so tight on my arms, but it, fits everywhere else.
Yeah.
Having to size up 2 sizes and then put a belt around my waist. And that's when I really realised, oh, it's not quite in proportion. And then over the years, I yo-yoed, my weight yo-yoed, but always my arms were at least 2 sizes bigger, no matter what size I was elsewhere. And I suffered with binge eating disorder, which is fine now. Shout out to Denise Ratcliffe, my psychologist. All good for years. I've had no problems. But still, my arms have been big. I've been fit. I've been healthy. And everyone says, oh, go to the gym or lose weight. Well, I'm a size 8. You can see me in these pictures here. I was a size 8 around my waist at this point, but you can see my arms are clearly a lot bigger.
So normally, I mean, there's 2 types here, isn't there? And actually, maybe this is where we should bring you in here, because there's 2 types of arm lifts. There's the mini, and then there's the regular one, which is a bit more invasive.
That's correct, yeah. So in a younger patient where they've got good skin tone, the skin is a bit fuller just in the upper part of the arm, they'll be suitable for a mini arm lift, which is a combination of some liposuction in the upper arm, removing a small amount of skin with the scar confined to the armpit, so the scar's hidden. In an older patient, where the skin's more lax down the whole length of the upper arm and the skin tone's not so good, we generally do a full arm lift with the incisions down the full length of the arm.
So you'd be left with the scar for sort of elbow to armpit?
From the elbow up to the armpit, but in an older patient, they tend to settle better. In a younger patient, where the scar's a bit more active, we're trying to, hide the scar in the armpit so it's not visible.
For you, and looking at that picture, I mean, your arms didn't look that big. And I know that it can be one of those things that gets into your head and it's a major issue for you, but it was affecting your confidence.
It really was. I think it was different things. I love fashion, as you can see, and it was reducing my choices with that. It was when you're on TV, so I do presenting as well. I just felt like I looked so much bigger, even though I wasn't. And people said, "Oh, go to the gym, lose weight." I don't really want to be smaller than a size 8, and I don't want to have to become emaciated to lose that. And I'm genetically predisposed to holding weight there. And if I was going to the gym, as you can see, but you can't tone fat. You have to lose the fat. Fat doesn't turn into muscle. So it was like either get unhealthily thin and really emaciated, and then I'd still have the skin elasticity because of the yo-yoing. So this made so much sense. And when I found this specific procedure, I was like, that's the one. And I spoke to 5 different surgeons, and Dr. Tully was the only one that said he would refuse to do me the full arm lift. He was like, I can absolutely do this.
You could have gone to Turkey, couldn't you, for free?
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, I get offered a lot of procedures abroad, and one clinic in Turkey said, come over, we'll do it for free, but you'll also have to get a BBL done, because that's what we're trying to promote at the moment.
Brazilian bum
Which is a bum lift. Wow. And I was like, I don't want a bum lift, you know what I mean? I'm all right with my bum.
It's a cosmetic procedure. It's not for health reasons.
At all.
Anaesthetic, obviously, you go under something like that. I mean, yes, it's safe, but it does come with risks, like any of these sorts of operations. Did you worry about that on the morning of the surgery?
No, not really. In fact, actually, when I turned up to Weymouth Street Hospital, where I had it done, they said they'd never seen anyone as excited to have surgery before. I was like, go on, do it. And I remember before going to Paul Tully, get them really nice and tight, take it out. No, I was really excited. My husband was a bit apprehensive because of the general anaesthetic, but I think I chose specifically, reputable surgeon, reputable hospital for those reasons, to feel safer about it. This wasn't something I wanted done last minute. This isn't, a boob job or a BBL. This is something that has affected me for 15 years. And I think if there's something in your life that makes you feel unconfident, insecure, makes every day more stressful and more difficult, and then there's a safe solution that doesn't hurt anyone else.
If you're lucky enough to have £7,000.
If you can afford it, then why not do that, and it'll change your life.
For the surgery, as Holly just said then, and that's with all surgery, there are risks involved. And so when you're assessing a patient and then looking at recovery, what do you say?
So we're looking for a patient who's generally, fit, healthy and well. Not smoking is very important. So a patient who's young, fit and well, active, good exercise tolerance, then they'll generally be a safe anaesthetic risk. As opposed to someone who's, say, a lot older, they may be smoking, they may be on various drugs that could be affecting their clotting.
What's the recovery time?
Recovery time, probably about 10 to 14 days. So we usually do a dressing at 1 week and 2 weeks, and then you're wearing compression garments up to 6 weeks. but around 10 to 14 days away from work and social commitments.
Was it painful, the recovery? I mean, how...
It was uncomfortable, I would say. So the actual surgery, you're completely under. And then the only painful bit was I had drains put in just for any excess fluid. Having them out, that was really painful.
Right.
But they gave me more painkillers and then it was fine. And then afterwards, for 2 weeks, I slept in our guest room with like a throne of pillows around me to kind of keep myself elevated. So it was a bit uncomfortable.
But after about 2 weeks...
After about 2 weeks, it was fine. I went back to work a little bit too early. I did the NTA's red carpet. I was presenting on it. I was like, I've got to do it. But they were moved, if you remember, because the Queen died. And I was like, I'm going to do it. I went to the surgery the next day to see Dr. Portoli, and they were like, oh, you pulled a little bit in between them. So I set myself back.
Right.
I should not have done that. And I really would recommend
sensible.
you are more sensible than I was,
What
definitely.
sort of scars are you left with?
Oh, I'll show you. So this is my underarm here.
We're
So
just gonna have a look.
it's just a tiny scar in, and you can see it starts about here and ends here. So when my arm is down...
They will fade over about 18 months to become more
Because this is relatively... sort of end of September you had this.
3
so
months,
these are
3.5 months. Yeah,
new
3.5
scars.
months.
So you would expect that to go right down?
Most scars will fade towards skin colour about an 18-month period. So we normally massage with like a silicone-type gel twice a day, and they will fade over that period and be much less visible.
What's it done for your confidence?
Oh, it's amazing. I'm so much happier. And I even said when I went in for this consultation originally, I'll go with the full arm lift. I don't mind about the scar because it would just mean that clothes fit me better. I can pick one size off and I'm not having to size up and put belts on. And when he was like, no, I can do it with the mini, I was like, oh my God. So being able to pick dresses for red carpets that are strappy and, yeah, it's just amazing. I just feel so much happier and so much more confident, and it's how I feel. And I think it wasn't to look amazing or do that. It was just to have more confidence and just to be comfortable in my own skin.
Great. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming to tell us about it. Lovely to meet you too.